I'm a Christian psychiatrist, and I did my training in psychiatry in the United Kingdom in the 1970s. And even in those days, in a country like the United Kingdom, the usual question that was asked of me when I said that I was doing psychiatry was, how can you as a Christian be involved in psychiatry? And then following that, my training and being a consultant in UK, this question kept coming up. How can you as a Christian be involved in psychiatry? And following that, with my family, we came to India, where I did missionary work and was mainly involved with medical students in India, doing Christian ministry among them. And again, the question often that came, because there was a conflict for many of the Christian students, how can we as Christians be involved in psychiatry? Because it was always thought to be a non-Christian specialty because of people like Freud, who have made an impact. And I used to have to explain and say, psychiatry is no more or no less Christian specialty compared to any other specialty. And I said, as a medical student, my first interest was to do obstetrics. And because of a number of things that happened in my internship days, God led me specifically to do psychiatry. And I used to turn around and say, look, I actually would find it much more difficult in this day and age to be a Christian obstetrician with all the ethical issues that we face, rather than as a Christian psychiatrist. And because of these questions that used to be raised, I produced a little leaflet that could be used as an educational material for medical students. And my interest over the years since then has been to try and see how we can educate pastors, church leaders, Christians at large, that psychiatry is much needed, and that as Christians there is a special place for us to be involved in this whole sphere of mental health. In Christendom, what I found is that there is a lot of wrong teaching and also prejudice and lack of understanding about this whole area of mental health. And I often say, when I'm talking about this and doing some teaching, is that I find that there are two schools or two extreme schools of thought. One is what I call the left wing. They are the extreme, what I would say, charismatics, who would say that there is no such thing as mental illness. It's all due to demon possession or due to the influence of evil spirits. And then there are what I say, the extreme right wing of Christianity, that's the ultra evangelicals, who will say there's no such thing as mental illness. It's due to your weak faith. And so spend more time in Bible study, more time in prayer, and you should be able to get over mental illness. But most of us obviously fall in the middle rather than these extremes. But even then, there is, as I said, a lot of misunderstanding and lack of understanding or ignorance about the whole area of mental illness. This is disappearing. Gradually, people are beginning to understand what mental illness is, and that Christians are not in any way, there is no reason why Christians don't fall mentally ill. We are not immune to mental illness, and we are just like physical illnesses. We are not immune as Christians to have mental illness. So this webinar that we are proposing is to try and look at some of these issues and to see how as Christians we can learn a bit more about some of the conflicts that arise between Christianity, or perceived conflicts that have been there over the years between Christianity and psychiatry. And I hope that you'd be interested to learn a bit more about that and to be involved in discussing these issues. And if you are, please take the opportunity to register for the webinar which will be put up online. Thank you very much.